So guys, I'm going to take you to Una Arenas University. So this is a new channel strictly just for universes, and I figured it would be a really fun way of interloping this. So I'm going to try to get match videos, like locals playing with it, stuff like that, just to get going. So this will be the first video on the channel, and we're going to do a meta breakdown of the English meta and take a look what we're going to be expecting kind of to play. So without further ado, let's get into the video, shall we? So let's get into this video. This is going to be, we're going to start off by showing off decks. Events will be kind of a little bit all over the place, but it will be top fours. So there are a few places that you guys can make me know how to get there, and that is, first off, I will show you the Facebook page at the end, and then the hashtag that I want you guys to be able to tell me, like, this was where you topped. Makes it a lot easier to search when you guys hashtag this, because then future posts will be able to grab them. So if you guys don't know, you got Unohana's in this deck. This is a Captain Yamamoto's deck. This one was classified tier 2, but after this week, this deck has seemed to be able to apply a lot of pressure. Being able to bring up your back row in to be able to swing for ridiculously big numbers at that end push can lead to clearing out your opponent's full board, and if they have no response, they're not going to have a good time handling what you can do. So taking this into account, like, you have benefits with all your cards, so you have to be able to play into the field that you want. So taking into account, you need to be able to generate a couple of, you know, big mana pushes in the back, so you got to play a lot of 2-cost enablers. So just keep that in mind when you're building, and then taking that into account, you have a lot of good ways of handling things. But then we did get one from RJ here, who's 4th place Yamato, definitely making a few adjustments, but this is the list I played in our 14-person locals, which is really good. We're seeing at least a good attendance for a week beginning game. 14 players is really important. So if you take a look here, he's definitely going for a little bit more consistency. Kenpachi is just a really good card. Being able to 5,000 force block sometimes near end game, Kenpachi can lead to being very strong. Taking a look though, if you look, he's using the 13 court squad option to help search for pieces, because if you don't find your Yamato, you're not really doing much with this deck, and that is a key point that RJ has brought up to me. And it's good to know that if you're thinking about building a deck, you need to go like, hey, I need to make sure I get consistent, because this is why Unohana's in here, to search and try to get to your Yamatos as soon as possible. And then here's another one from a locals. This one's pretty cool as well. I like that they are, instead of using the other Kenpachi that basically says, hey, this is what I'm going to be doing, this Kenpachi literally helps remove threats, especially if you combo this with the Unohana. This Kenpachi can basically clear decent amount of threat holds by himself, because he's going to be killing most 4,000 DP as long as you meet the 6,006 other, you know, 13 court quad members, you know. So keeping this in mind, the list is pretty solid. I have no objections here. It does look like they are going to be playing more 2-drop, you know, the 2 mana enablers, just because Yamato is a 7 cost. So, and then you do have Unohana, who's a 6 cost. So eventually you have to catch up to playing this. And I know that we do have one of the Yamamotos that generates, you know, energy while he's in the front line, which makes sense. So taking a look at this, at the end of the day, really solid list, and we'll see if this continues to evolve even further. Then we do have another one, 3rd place at Portal. This one was the, what is it? Kenpachi with Unohana. This is the Toshiro deck. So this one centralizes around Toshiro. Toshiro basically says, I'm going to stun your opponent's basically energy once we have 6. So 6 others. So the goal is to get your board, your energy set up as soon as possible, and then get 2 others and then start doing your shenanigans. So as long as you can keep a solid 6 other 13 court squad, this will actually do you quite well, in my opinion. So taking this into account, the list is pretty solid. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. I mean, I like that players are starting to tech in. It looks like this character does something. If I remember correctly, it negates... to negate something. I think he negates impact, and that's really useful because he becomes a very good trade blocker with anything that tries to hit us for piercing damage, which makes a lot of sense, right? Now we're getting into Purple Bleach. This was second place at the other event with the Yamamoto, but they're using a Renji Ichigo list where it was focusing heavily basically with the starter deck stuff, which is kind of cool to see that even though this is just basically what, one super rare new, and that's how they kind of went about it, to be able to compete with that into a meta that is probably really just starting to develop means that the starter deck stuff is actually pretty decent across the board. And then third place was another Ichigo. This one was focusing more on Ichigo and Bakua. Rukia's brother. I screw up names so bad. I need to hear his name like 100 times in my head before I get it down right. But kind of something similar to actually what I'm playing right now. And I really like it, actually. Being able to neg the board is really important in my opinion, and it's good to see that this is the way it kind of went. And then another Ichigo list. It looks like super rare one. I don't know if this was just because they didn't have enough, or is it just because this is what they've been wanting to run. But it looks like the last couple ones have been on 3 of the super rare. The last 2 have been on the 3 of the super rare Ichigos, which is not bad actually, but great job, guys. Then we did have this one. This was for reference to explain. This was the recipe that won me the prize in Japan. Please use this as a reference. I also have other recipes. Ask me. So if you need to find more Purple Bleach stuff, this is not a bad one using Renji from this, and it's across the board. A lot of raid targets. I mean, the problem comes down to, this is the issue right here, is that this Rukia would have to be replaced with something else. And that, like, this uses heavy your trash to do stuff. So, I mean, I wish we had the Rukia. Rukia would have been just fine to have, to be honest. Then we do have first place from Portals Manchester. This one's running this one here that forces your opponent's hand to discard. I know all their names, but I'm not gonna sit here and botch a video with names that I already screwed up with Rukia's brother. So I'm not gonna do that now, and I ain't gonna do it later. So we're gonna try to avoid this and actually be smart. But really solid, you know, using 2. This is basically what you kind of expect from the Ichigo focus list, is the removal Ichigo plus the impact Ichigo is just really solid. And now we're going to get into the Kurapika. Kurapika is Kurapika. This deck can go to hell. I'm going to be straight honest with you. I don't like this deck. I don't like playing against it. It is a super unfun deck to play against, in my opinion. If you're gonna give this deck being like the dominant force in the meta, you should have not removed 2 cards from Purple Bleach, to be straight honest with you. But I like that Green Bleach is starting to shine because it can actually go toe-to-toe with Kurapika very comfortably. So just keep that in mind. This is the Shadow Phantom Troops. So if you know Phantom Troops, I don't know the deck in and out. It's a very good synergy deck. It uses, you know, Cholo and Illumi as your main focus raid targets, and they'll do what they need to help control the board and do what you do. Again, and then now we have this itemized deck. So this deck focuses on using cards in your hand that you gather, and these are basically exclusive to this deck, and they're called, can I get the name of them? Dang, I cannot. But they're items basically in your hand that you want to use the whole time. They take advantage of it. Your Gones, your Killiums, and your Baiski. Again, I haven't watched enough Hunter x Hunter to be able to announce names, and I'm already botching this one, but I know Killio and Gon. I know Gon. Like, I know Gon. I just haven't heard his name enough. Haven't heard her at all. But using this item as ice deck, it focuses on using these items to kind of benefit you in a power-up situation, and it's really cool, actually. And here's another list for Unarina's fun. I mean, hey, if you guys can use it, especially what's interesting is there are a lot of cards that literally say you can only have 3 of these. So just keep that in mind. But all in all, guys, this is the first week of basically Union Arena. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.